So just a wee bit late on today's video report, and I'm promising you that I'm going to try to be here every day during this football season. But as to the time of the day that I'll be here during this football season, I will make no promises. I'll tell you what, over the past 6 months or so, I have just been kicked in the ass by migraines. I have been a migraine sufferer since I've been about 5 or 6 years old, and over the years, it's been something that I've been able to control. And I've always been grateful because I've been the type that have been able to power through migraines. I haven't seen the R's. I haven't had to sit there in rooms that have been darkened with my eyes closed for days on end. So I've always considered myself very grateful because the pain was something that I could tolerate and I was able to work my way through it. But boy, I'm telling you, April, May, it went to debilitating. I mean, those 2 months, I was just out of it. And that's when I stopped doing these video reports because I just couldn't function anymore. So I handicapped today's card at about 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. And here it is at 4:45 Eastern time, and my head is still pounding, but I give up. I had to do the video sooner or later, so here we are, migraine and all. And I've been on every type of new meds there are out there. And I go to one of the top migraine clinics, the headache clinic at Jefferson University in Philadelphia. I mean, they are on the cutting edge of all treatments, and my head is still pounding, so I don't know. I think I want a refund. But anyway, listen, one thing that makes me feel better is last night I kicked off the season with a nice college football, top-rated 15-dime winner on Cincinnati against UCLA. I told you at the outset of the season, it's the one time, no matter the sport, that we have the advantage over the odds makers. If you go to my homepage, which if you're watching the video here on my homepage, just scroll down a little bit. Don't go now. Come on, you want to watch me. Don't go now. You can read my analysis of why I told you the Bearcats were the play against overrated UCLA, and I told you I thought that number was a farce. Cincinnati a 2.5-point favorite. Now, the game was a little closer than I thought it would be, but Cincinnati really controlled it throughout, 24-14, as UCLA quarterback Thompson basically gift-wrapped the game for us with 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles. Thank you to the UCLA quarterback. My personal thanks going out to him. But again, the numbers are always going to be softest in the first couple of weeks of the season because, as I told you in yesterday's video report, it always rings true no matter the sport, no matter the season. The odds makers don't know anything more to what to expect from these teams and these players than you or I, so that levels the playing field. The numbers are always going to be soft. They will, the odds makers, catch up after a game or two, as they always do, but now is the time for us to capitalize. So, what does that mean for tonight? Well, you know me, guys. I believe in pressing the action. When you're on a roll, you keep coming back, and you never walk away from that table when you've got the hot ham, and I'm not going to do it tonight. As I go for winning day number 6 out of 7, top-rated 15-dime college football winner number 5 in a row going back to last season. You remember how I ended last season, a 15-dime best bet winner with Clemson hammering Alabama in the national championship game. Another one Cincinnati last night, another one going today with Colorado State on the late night card. And just like Cincinnati last night, you get it as the half-price play of the day by using coupon code LATE, L-A-T-E. Of course, the big promo today, again, I'm rewarding those of you that have been here throughout the baseball season, the dog days of summer, making money just like me for the 15th time in 18 years in baseball, turning a profit. I'm rewarding you for your patronage by giving you the single biggest discount of the entire year, 30%. It's a mix and match coupon, good for any combination of picks and or packages. The only stipulation is you've got to use the coupon and put everything in your shopping cart at one time, and that coupon is 30%, 30%, and if you happen to be in a long-term package with a particular handicapper, you can extend that package out further. You can take advantage of any instant rebates you may have, and if you have any questions, you can always contact customer service. Now, let's get to your complimentary plays. Last night I had 2 of them. I told you the best one, I thought, was the first half play on Clemson. Tigers got the job done, laying 24, winning the first half battle 28-0. I was wrong with the Florida International pick against Tulane. I was way off in that one. And you know, even when I was talking about that play, and I alluded to it on yesterday's video, I thought that the biggest problem Florida International was going to have in that game was the inability of the Panthers a year ago to stop the run. And going back to my years, even when I used to have a tip sheet, and yes, I used to have a national tip sheet called the Players Preference Playbook. During the 6 years I did it, my 4- and 5-star run with top-rated plays, a little over 68%. And it just got too much, handicapping every single game and writing it and doing it and laying it out and getting it to the printer and mailing it. It was overwhelming. But I did it shortly for those 6 years after I had my nationwide radio show, and I was on a roll and I loved doing it. But the key thing, the number one statistic I always looked at in college football was whether a team could run the ball and whether their opponent could stop the run. Because to me, in college football, if you can't stop the run, you ain't got no chance of winning the game. So always keep that in mind when you're looking at matchups. Now, for your complimentary play tonight, I'm going to take a look at the game between Wake Forest and Utah State. Utah State was a team that made me plenty of money last year. 7-2 with my picks going on or against the Aggies a year ago. Jordan Love, just a tremendous season last season. Oh, that's repetitive, isn't it? I'll blame it on the migraines. The junior coming back after completing 64% of his passes last season, 3,500 yards, 32 touchdowns. But that offense for Utah State, an offense that averaged over 47 points a year ago, averaged 497 yards a game. Jordan Love is one of only 2 starters back. 2 starters back. Think about that. 4 new starting offensive linemen, an unsettled receiver corps. He only has his left tackle back from a year ago. So how potent is that Utah State offense going to be this year starting on the road in Winston-Salem? Now, that Utah State defense may be every bit as good, and it was a ball-hawking defense last year, number 1 in the nation in terms of forced turnovers with 32, 22 of them coming via the interception, 7 starters back on that side of the ball. Wake Forest, a team that giveth and taketh last year. I mean, that Wake Forest offense, I think they averaged almost 33 points a game and 449 yards a game a year ago, but they gave up over 33 points and 458 yards a game. They've got Jamie Newman, a junior that won the quarterback job. He took over late last season, and in 4 games he was very effective. He's a dual threat quarterback. I think Wake Forest will be able to move the ball here tonight playing at home. With Newman at quarterback, they won 3 of their final 4 games of the season, including a Birmingham Bowl upset of Memphis where they rallied from a 20-point deficit, and Newman accounted for 4 touchdowns in that game to win MVP honors. Actually, they rallied from 18 points down, if memory serves me correctly. They've got a good running back in Cade Carney. They like to play up-tempo, so they're going to speed up the tempo of this game here tonight. They've got a new defensive coordinator, so hopefully he can make some improvements to that unit that couldn't stop anybody here last year. Here's the problem with this game, and the reason that I didn't use this game. That number, it's sitting at 5 at most books. You can find some 4.5s out there, but it's sitting at 5 at most books. 5 is like one of those numbers you might as well be out in the desert with. If you're laying 5, you might as well be laying 7. Really. And if you're laying 7, hey, you might as well be buying the half point down, right? But 5 is like, what are you going to do with a 5? 5 is telling me you got to win by 7. 5, if you're on the underdog, is great. 4.5, if you're laying the chalk, is a wonderful number because you're going to buy down to 4. You can see teams winning by 4, right? You can see teams winning by 5. No. Winning by 6, maybe. You're going to win by 7. 5 is just one of those awkward numbers that I just shy away from. So I do like Wake Forest here tonight, but not enough to put my own money on it. Now, the other interesting game I had here tonight that I handicapped was South Florida as a 10.5-point dog at home against Wisconsin. I've always maintained that I thought Charlie Strong was a coach that could do the least with the most talent. I thought he was a bad fit at the University of Texas. I thought that he was a good choice for South Florida because of his recruiting ties in the Sunshine State. But again, I think he's just a mediocre coach. Last year, 7-0 start for the Bulls, and then 6 straight losses when the schedule got tougher as they finished the season weakly. The thing with South Florida, they gave up last year 247.7 yards a game on the ground. That's the 7th worst rush defense in the nation a year ago. They only have 3 starters on the defense that weigh over 245 pounds. So they're an undersized team taking on a big team from the Big Ten. But that Wisconsin offensive line, something that the Badgers have been able to brag about for all those years, they only have one starter back from a year ago. But 3 of the projected starters saw a lot of time as backups a year ago, so they're not totally inexperienced. And of course, Wisconsin has that guy, Jonathan Taylor, who ran for a little over 2,100 yards and 16 touchdowns a year ago. Wisconsin, somewhat unsettled quarterback. They've got that guy, Jack, I think you pronounced his last name, Jack Cohen, who made 4 starts a year ago. Wisconsin defense was not good last year. One of its worst units in years. Gave up 155 yards rushing. That's 4.4 yards per carry. Most since 2007. Only 19 sacks a year ago. But what I worry most about Wisconsin in this game, because I think the Badgers will win this game, it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. I mean, the game time temp, it's going to be probably about 90 degrees. The humidity is going to be 75 to 80%. These guys from Wisconsin, they're not used to those type of conditions. I thought that would affect Arizona in the second half at Honolulu when I went with the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors and last Saturday's free pick, and you saw Hawaii won the game outright. So I wonder that a Wisconsin team that's playing its first game in the state of Florida since 1988, if they'll be able to cover this number here tonight. South Florida, I don't think they're that good. And I think Charlie Strong is a lousy coach. So, again, do I have a free pick on it? No, but I had handicapped the game and I wanted to throw it out there and give you all the variables. If you asked me to give you a projection on this contest, I would probably go ahead and take Wisconsin in the game. But boy, again, it's just it's a big number for a team that's on the road, that's 3-8 against the spread in its last 11 openers, and 2 teams that I'm just not that enthused about. So your official free play tonight, migraine and all, is going to be Wake Forest. That'll do it. A big card on Saturday, and I will talk to you in the morning. Good luck, everybody.